Bruce teased about a story that really broke this week about what's going on with streaming services, and not only that, it goes a little further. There's an article from The Verge, and it's been in different places, and this actually comes from Russell Branham. Okay.
Contributor to the show.
Well, apparently not. Well, he doesn't know it. Don't go tell him. No, but Chicago is now implementing a tax in the city. Okay, that's in Illinois, by the way.
And where does this come from?
Well, what do you mean? Where does the tax come from?
Well, why can we have the tax?
Well, I tell you why we can have the tax, because now,
It's
hold on.
utility.
I know bandwidth. Basically, if you want to use it as that, has been decided that it's a utility, and because of that, then they can legally tax it now. I mean, that's one of the double-edged swords.
But
My
argument was, either way, we were going to.
I would
more.
a lot rather pay it to somebody who can use it to make profit for somebody else who I don't have to feed because they've made a profit than I had the government go get it and take it and send it down a rat hole.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm
into
sorry.
Somebody's pocket. Some politician's pocket.
Well, anyway, that's Michael's opinion, and you can disagree or agree.
Michael at Hey Techies.
That's right. And
Michael at Hey Techies Show.
That's right, and I'll be glad to answer it. Let me just give you a little bit of information here about what they're actually doing, and I think this goes even a little further than people are realizing, because there's a two-part policy here.
Yep.
One of them is electronically delivered amusements. Well, I think everybody can pretty much figure out on their own what they're talking about. Netflix, streaming. They're even
Hulu,
mentioning here
HBO.
Apple Music is
Apple
mentioned
Music?
in here. It would be considered among this streaming service. And so they possibly, instead of $9.99 a month, it might have to go up in Chicago to 9% more.
Yep. And Alabama is trying to
They're
introduce
trying to
tax.
do it
Yes.
too.
I
Now,
received the
here's
email.
where it gets really convoluted. We were talking about this before the show. There's another segment to know. This is Chicago's law, so this is not national. So we need
Yes.
to be very clear. I don't want this. I'm not one of these fear mongers. This is Chicago, but sometimes these things do start trends.
I'm a fearmonger. It's coming.
But maybe not all of this.
Write your politician now.
Non-possessory computer leases. Now, I think what it's talking about is servers that you access from a distance that you do not possess in your possession on your premises
So virtual
or within the city. It would have to be.
Well, also it could be you could own hardware and you have it off site as like a redundancy, or you could lease data center space. It's your equipment.
No, that's
question.
well,
Is this already passed?
But
yes.
think
It's
about
been-
like the Amazon cloud servers.
This is not a
Yeah.
rumor.
and stuff like that, where it's basically truly software as a service, where a company is paying this company just do it.
It's two rulings made by the city's Department of Finance.
So it
It's
seems
done.
like there could be some type of appeal that would happen.
Well, I would think that it would have to go through the court system, and I mean, obviously, it would go through the court system. I didn't mean it that way, but who knows? Somebody's got to bring it, and,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I'm
they're going to have
sure.
to.
I'm
You know
sure
how long
some-
that would take.
Well, I'm sure some stuff's going to happen. But
Yeah,
let's talk
I don't
about
think it's over by a long
Yeah.
shot. No, I agree with you totally. But here's what I'll get back to what you wanted. So I wanted to cover this real quick. According to make this real simple, the first ruling presumably covers streaming media, like we just talked about. But the second one, as we talked about, the second tier of this, right, would cover database or computing platforms like AWS or Amazon Web Service would be very one that or there's another one mentioned, LexisNexis.
Oh wow, I'm surprised because wow.
What about that one? The law passes claims $100 of server time, okay, would result in Springfield would cost you $109 if you accessed it.
That's interesting.
If you're connecting from an office in Chicago. According
Quick,
to this
everybody
article.
move.
Now,
Is it
Why are
from
you
and
still-
off from Chicago or to Chicago?
If you're in Chicago.
no, if you're in
If you're in
Chicago and you're
So it don't matter where the servers are located.
No,
if you live in if you're in Chicago and
Well,
you access
I
something.
think the more important way to put the more correct way to put this, it matters where the servers are located. If the servers are located in your office, then you're not hit by this. If the servers are located outside of the city, I'm guessing is what they're talking about.
So this is
because
kinda,
the tax is not being put on that product.
this is anything that goes over. A
so. It's the
it's not-
company that is spending the resources on that.
Correct. They're not paying a tax to utilize that within the city limits.
Gotcha.
And so now they're going to pay a tax. Now, I know we and I talked about this before the show, and
Yeah.
I know what were you fixing to say? Because I cut you off, and I'm sorry.
Well, I was what you were saying with the whole. If it crosses your land, of course you're not going to be charged. And I guess if it crosses your man, you don't get charged because that's a metropolitan area network. So you're still within the city. But if it crosses the WAN, then this is how people learn.
I know, but everybody's wondering about where this man and WAN is.
Well, then if it crosses the wide area network, so it's outside of Chicago.
If the data comes in from outside the city,
Yes.
there you
But
go.
what I'm wondering is, what if you have an MPLS that is outside? Okay, we'll just get off that.
What?
Because
An
an MPLS. So like you're paying.
You've lost me.
Yeah. Okay.
You've
You
lost
saw
me
these
too.
big letters.
So what if I'm paying for a
A, B, C,
service?
D.
What if I'm paying for a service to prioritize my traffic,
Yes.
which you can do between my business in Chicago and my business in LA. So, I mean, that's a network I'm already paying for. I don't know. But
I don't-
anyways, Alabama, if you're a DirecTV subscriber, you probably got an email, and they're trying
Yes.
to do this almost exact same thing in Alabama.
Yes.
So even if you're not a DirecTV subscriber, I would hope Cable One would be, because, well, no, they don't offer streaming services, do they?
yeah, they do. They have the TiVo now. You can get.
Okay, so hopefully they're gonna alert their users
Yeah,
or their subscribers. But write your politician, get on the phone, because
because
this is not gonna.
here's
end
my
well.
thing with Chicago with it, because it's very clear that
Why are
it's
you
going to
living
be
in
these
Chicago?
cloud services that are outside of Chicago. They're going to tax. Is businesses are going big time to the cloud where they just don't. They don't want to have this software installed on premise, and they just pay a company, hey,
Yep.
deal with it. I don't want to be in that business.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, Chicago is going to make, they can make a large sum of money if this holds up in court. But I mean, from what I've read about the Alabama one, they're just talking about streaming like Netflix and streaming services like you can get through DirecTV and other
then
things.
Mikey and I were talking about this before the show. If it's all encrypted traffic, how are they going to know?
Well,
I mean, unless it's because they're looking at the originating IP address and they know that that's Netflix.
Yeah.
according to this, Netflix is, if you're in one of these areas, they're just going to charge you.
Yeah. So
I mean, so
it's-
if you're paying $7.99 a month for
And-
Netflix,
and you're in Chicago,
in Chicago, they're just going to bump that up 9
9%.
cents. 9%. Sorry, I
9%.
didn't mean 9 cents. 9%.
well, I mean, I would be fighting with my city.
So it would be under.
I don't
it would
understand
be
how they're going
under-
to tax this, anyways, because of the whole net neutrality stuff.
That's why they're going to be able to tax it.
Well,
I keep telling you this.
No,
Yes.
because then that's not net neutrality. You're
Nobody knows what net neutrality is. Nobody does. I mean,
especially the politicians.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what you get when you tell everybody they can't read it. We got to pass it. I know we've argued this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you know me. When a politician says don't read something, I say that's a no vote. I'd
Well,
rather
yeah.
live with what I got.
To now it's, though, if it's like a politician says, well, this, I'm going to be the most transparent, right the opposite of that.
I know that.
So it's, man,